Okay, this is number 2. It's just a natural, not a lot of thought backswing. I'm seeing the left knee flex. I'm seeing the right leg extend. I'm seeing the left arm getting pretty close to the shoulder line. Let me see before you tee a ball up. Go ahead and fix that tee normal. I want you to set up and swing it and break the tee. Okay, just swing and break that tee. Okay. Go ahead and hit one now. Try to hit. Okay, now do the baby backswing and take it all the way to the end, all the way to the finish. So you're posting up. Okay. Do it one more time. Now, could you lift your back foot and tap it without losing your balance? You've got a lot of weight back here. 99% of your weight should be on that left foot. I mean, you're just basically a one-legged golfer right there. And you just don't get to the left enough to have an outward path too often enough, I think. Now, is that just muscular newness?
Yeah, yes. The range of motion is kind of bad, too.
Well, put the club down for a second. I want you to stand perfectly straight. And I want you just to turn 90 degrees and do this. So your right thigh is touching your left thigh. Boom. Right there. And that's the way I want you to finish with the driver. Straight. Or close too much. I mean,
This is bad?
it's extreme. Yes, short answer is that's bad. It doesn't have to be perfectly vertical. It could be a little bit, but you get to the point where you cross the threshold where you're into bad. That's because you didn't extend and stand up tall. You almost force yourself. In fact, you've got so much of your mass over right on this part of your foot, not even on top of your foot. You have to have both feet help you hold your balance. I need to have your body weight, the kilograms here, sitting on top of that foot and hip. And you have so much of it out here that you need to get it on top of you. That's what's supporting your balance is your feet. You don't finish on top of your left foot. So there's always a balance issue. That looks good. That's a good looking swing. Hope that camera's going. It is good. I just can't imagine with your athleticism to have just ridiculously different geometry every other swing if that's always the same.
Good.
So let's get that always the same, and then we'll work with that base. That'll be our base. We're going to work backwards in a sense. So right now, for that whole pile right there, and I've got another bucket. I've got 2 buckets here. I want you to own this finish. Think in your mind. Swing to that perfect pose. Perfect pose. Good. Good.
Yeah, solid.
Okay. Okay. I will tell you this right now, based on the 10 balls you just hit. Based on the swing direction and that orange stick, you probably would have missed the fairway 3 times. But had we not done that aim and swing direction, every one of them was a fade. All 10 of them curved right. You didn't have any straight ones. You had no draws. Hit the fairway. Had you had a different swing direction, you would have hit 10 fairways with those 10 swings.
While I was hitting those, I was aiming railroad track style.
Okay, so Jack Nicklaus didn't hit railroad tracks down. He hit a lot of fairways. He had a swing direction left because he played a fade. Fred Couples has a swing direction left because he plays a fade. 40% of the pros have a swing direction left because they play fades. I've got to have you own this finish to that same level. Let's hit some more. And we're just going to vary this piece. We're not going to swing any harder, not going to swing any less hard. So after you swing, you'll be tempted, it's understandable, and I accept the fact that you're going to watch the ball. But while you're watching the ball, scan your body.
Okay.
And confirm that you have the new finish.
That was a little off balance.
Okay. That's what we're really working on. That's a bonus. The B's a bonus, but A is the goal.
Real good there.
Everything was good there. The thing I like about the fade is that when you introduce a small wrinkle to the swing, that small wrinkle usually causes a little rightness in the ball flight. But since you've set up, which would kill you if you were playing for a draw and that wrinkle showed up, but now you're playing the fade, and so the fade-ish wrinkles that show up every once in a while, you have a bigger target. You can miss it. Your miss won't be as bad. From this angle, you can certainly see how you are much more upright on the right, and you are just tilted a lot more on the left. There's probably almost a 10-degree difference from 2 weeks ago and yesterday. So the one on the right makes it much easier for you to balance because you don't have so much of your shoulder mass to the right of your left foot. You've got so much of your weight off to the right that you're going to struggle with balance. So you're three-dimensional balancing now. From this camera angle, you've got more mass on top of your left hip, and on the face-on view, you have more mass on top of your left foot. On the left is your swing from a few weeks ago, and on the right is Grant. I've got you just past the 6th position with the hands in front of the right thigh. I've drawn a red line from the outside of the ankle straight up at 90 degrees. You can see how much more weight Grant has
on his left side at this time in the position, and you're still quite a bit back. You don't have much of your body on top of your left foot at this stage in the swing. As I take you now to impact, just post-impact here. I'll take Grant to, I'll get him in the same post-impact. I have him in slow motion and you more in high definition, so there's more movement per frame. So I have you both now in about the same position, but you can see how the red line on Grant's swing is going right through his belt buckle. And so he's got the center of his hips more on top of that foot, and you still are hanging back quite a bit. So take it up to the finish on Grant. Take you to your finish. You can see you still have more weight behind the foot than on top of the foot. The center point of the two lines on Grant is kind of going right through the center of his body, and you're just hanging back quite a bit more. This is why you tend to lose your balance, fall backwards a little bit. Your position on the left would be impossible for you to lift your foot up, your back foot up, and tap your toe. If you did, you would immediately fall backwards because so much weight is behind the left foot. You're not using your left foot and left hip to support the majority of your mass. You're using both feet to balance your finish because you don't move far enough on top of that left. Here's Hunter Mahan. I framed his left leg straight up, and you can see how it's going right through the center of his hips and his back. Now Rory has not quite as much weight of his upper body on top of his left foot, but he does have his right thigh and right hip much more on top of the foot. Here's Tiger at the finishing position of a driver swing, and you can see that red box is passing right through his center of his hips. This is Tiger from a video I took of him last summer at the US Open. You can see that box going right through his hips and shoulders. Here you are, PJ. On the right is what we worked on yesterday, and a remarkable difference. And I know you aren't comfortable with this yet, but there is no question in my mind. This is the swing you need to finish on. Regardless of what you do in the other positions prior to this position, this is you need to finish on top of this left foot. You need to get your hips and your core centered there, and I think it does require, obviously, a more narrow stance, which you did. I don't care if you lose 5 yards on your drive. I don't think you will, but that's irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. We need to hit it very solid and very consistent and under control, predictable curve, and the predictable curve that you can achieve the easiest and quickest and most consistently is the fade. And we can't get around that. That's just the truth and the reality. There is nothing magical about a draw that makes it automatically better than a fade. That becomes just a discussion about preference. But in terms of scoring, there is no difference. In fact, some could make just as good an argument that a fade is easier to score with than a draw. And so you already have now the beginnings of the change you need to make. Now, there may be other little tweaks that we need to do in your swing, but absolutely should not try to start that secondary tweaking until this finish is absolutely owned. So right now, that's all you work on, and you accept the consequences of any kind of ball flight variation while you're in this process of owning this finish. Step one is to get to ownership of this finish, and then we can re-examine what your statistics are and whether there's still some issues that we have to address or swing adjustments that we have to change to improve the ball flight or the results of ball flight. But that next piece needs to be built on top of this finish.